it's Shawnee. Welcome back. So I'm getting ready to go into the office. I start a little later on certain days. And I figured I would do my makeup before I go rather than at the office. So I was trying to think of what palettes I wanted to use. I am thinking of using the Flying Fiddles palette from Adept and possibly pairing it with the Rich palette from Beauty Bay. We'll see. I'm not quite sure. I have on a black top today and just some jeans. I'm super casual. So I guess I can kind of do anything, really. I mean, you can do anything always, but you know what I mean. Oh, I am tired. The last couple of weeks have been like, meh, for me. Oop, just feeling kind of like blah, you know. I am going to use the Honey Drop lightweight moisturizer from Pharmacy. I've already washed my face and everything. So how are y'all? I can't believe that we are in August. Like, basically it's Christmas. Like, man. And if anyone knows the best times and such to get plane tickets, let me know. So I'm thinking of going home for one of the holidays. I don't know, child. I gotta talk to my therapist about it. Now I need a primer. I don't. So the closest things to me are, oh, actually, liar. I will use the shade Rope in the paint base eyeshadow base from Colored Rain. So I was reading the news. That's not surprising. I'm like always reading the news. There were a couple of stories that kind of stood out to me that were super interesting. I feel like I learned something. The first story is from New Zealand. It was a couple. They only put their initials. I noticed that sometimes for like stories that are not in the US, they just put like their initials. So I feel like you can really do a lot more with that. So the woman's name or initials were CL and the guy's initials were HG. So I figured I would call them Claire and Hugo. Right? That makes total sense. So it seems like Claire took Hugo to like the small claims court equivalent in New Zealand. Now they see, or they deal with cases that are small claims and in terms of financials go up to like $18,000 in terms of, you know, how much you can expect to get if you like win your case. And so Claire took Hugo to small claims. They had been dating for 6.5 years. That's a pretty significant amount of time. And the story is that Claire was going on a trip with friends to go to a concert. They didn't say what concert it was. And so she asked Hugo to give her a ride to the airport. And he also offered to stay at her house and watch her dogs. I can't decide what shade do I want to use. This has more of like the rosy berry kind of shades, which is interesting that it's called Rich. I don't know why that's interesting. But I think I will start with Flying Fiddles and just pop into some of the mattes. So, okay. So Claire gets ready for her trip and she's waiting for Hugo to come pick her up. Like he said between 10 and 10:15. So I'm guessing maybe her flight's at like, I don't know, 12 or so. And those times come and go. Like 10 and 10:15 go on by, and there's no sign of Hugo. So Claire waits, and then she starts calling Hugo, and he does not answer. He's like not answering his phone. Mind you, I'm gonna remind you that they've been dating for 6.5 years. Anyway, I don't know what happened to Hugo, but Hugo didn't answer that phone, girl. Hugo didn't answer the phone, and he didn't show up. So Claire is claiming that she had to incur fees and charges and stuff because he didn't come through on what he was supposed to do. So she was still able to go on her trip. I don't know if she like I don't know if she rescheduled the flight or rebooked the flight. I don't know, but she managed to go to her concert, but she had to take a shuttle to the airport, and then she also had to pay to board her dogs. So I guess when she gets back, it seems like maybe they didn't have any sort of conversation. I feel like Hugo was like, I think I'm done. She could figure out how to get to the airport. She could figure out her dogs. Like, I'm peacing out right now. Yeah, we're not going to make it to 7. And so Claire takes him to small claims court because she wants to recoup her damages. And the court was like, yeah, bud, like, friends, partners, family always say things like that. Like, they'll take you to the airport, they'll do your grocery shopping, whatever. But it's not a binding contract, so we're gonna throw your case out. Listen, I'm learning that you can sue over everything. I don't know why I tend to think like that certain things are not important enough for me to sue over. But I'm learning, okay? You could sue over everything. And I always think that the U.S. is super litigious. And I'm like, why am I not in on this? Like, I'm trying to think, like, what could I sue people over? Seems like just about anything, right? I mean, it does also seem, though, that, you know, a lot of times things are thrown out. But I still feel like I need to get on that. I really need to get on the job of being mindful of who, when, and why I can sue people. So there's no, like, update or anything on Claire and Hugo. I'm guessing they're not dating anymore. Like, I really wonder what happened for Hugo. Why all of a sudden you just, like, peace out, Hugo? Like, just didn't show up. Like, what was going on beforehand? What was happening that you just, and it seems like he's alive and well. It just also seems like he didn't want to take Claire on the thing, on the, you know, to the air. I understand, okay? There are 3 airports out here, and so there's one in Baltimore, there's one in DC, and there's one in, like, Virginia. The Virginia one is the furthest one for everybody, right? Like, I remember flying into there from a business trip, and I couldn't get an Uber to save my life. Nobody wanted to get me in Virginia and take me to Maryland. And also, it's like you don't necessarily ask people to take you to that airport because nobody wants to. The only person I've ever taken to that airport was my mother. Other than that, you gotta get a ride, girl. you gotta go. Somebody else gonna say, I'm not doing that drive, okay? I barely do it for myself. Shoot. What's Shady doing? I'm just like, Hugo was like, girl, I'm good. I don't want to do this no more. I think I will go into this shade here, Rust Bunny. For now, I have used Sahara and Daylily. Oh, yes. So, yeah. I don't know that I support Claire's suing of Hugo, but I understand. I kind of feel like, though, that's one of the things you just bash him to your girlfriends kind of situation. I don't know. or like throw all his clothes out on the lawn, maybe light them on fire. So yeah. Now this other one though, I think his name is Michael Bruckheimer something. Michael though, for sure is his first name. Michael's in Ohio, so we right back in the US of A. Now Michael goes to this spot for wings. He and his wife go out to dinner and he gets some boneless wings. He got the Parmesan garlic ones. I don't know if there was a rub or a sauce, but what do you get on your boneless wings or your bone in, whichever? I feel like I've had the Parmesan garlic. I think that's one of the main ones that I get. Because you can do like a sauce or a rub, right? I feel like it's just like really good. Anyway. So they go, he gets his wings. I'm guessing it was just like a quick, like, what are we gonna do on Friday night? Let's just go get some wings. Or like a Tuesday when a game was on or something. So they go, they order their food. I don't know what Mrs. Michael gets. I just know what Michael got. He got the boneless wings. I don't know how many he got. I don't know if they came. Why do they always come with like celery and carrots? Why is this here? Anyway, so Michael gets his food, and while he's eating, I bet you he's like rushing, right? So a piece of the chicken gets caught in his throat, but I think he just clears it like, you know, and he's able to keep on eating his food. Now, 3 days later, Michael is all feverish, and he's like vomiting and all kinds of stuff. Can't keep nothing down. Throat is hurting. So he goes to the ER. Smart move, Michael. The ER doctor finds a long, thin bone that in his throat, that in his esophagus, that has like torn the esophagus, and that got infected. Now, you're like, when did Michael have some bones? I thought you said he had boneless wings like 3 days ago. I don't know what he's eating in the interim. So Michael sues. Because I don't know if he probably had to have surgery. You got to repair your esophagus, right? Like, that's an important part of the body. Not that, well, there are some things that aren't, but the esophagus, you get like daily use out of it in general. So I'm still going in with that shade. I'm just putting it on a brush so I can get into the corner here. So Michael decides to sue. Now, it seems like the lower level courts threw out his complaint. Don't know why. So he takes it to the Ohio Supreme Court. It's the highest court you can go to. Michael wasn't playing. He was like, somebody's gonna give me some money. So he sued the restaurant. I think he was suing everybody. He was suing the chickens, the farm, the eggs. He was suing everybody. Rightfully so, as I learn more and more about the art of lawsuits. Now, I'm sitting here thinking like, Michael about to get at least a little something for his, you know, pain and suffering. But no. The Ohio Supreme Court voted 4-3 to throw it out. So I'm like, it seems like Michael ate these wings. Maybe they gave, I don't know. But that's the only thing that had gotten caught in his throat. That's where all the problems started. I'm going to tell you, because I learned something. I'm going to tell you what this Supreme Court said. Okay? Give me a moment. Okay. So like I said, his name is Michael. His last name is Bruckheimer. So Michael found out. Basically, when he was suing, he said that the restaurant failed to let him know that these nuggets of boneless, skinless breast meat might have a bone in them. Like I said, he sued the supplier, the farm, the chickens, everybody. Everybody was negligent. Now, this high court, the Ohio Supreme Court, said that boneless wings refers to a cooking style, and that Bruckheimer, Michael, should have been on guard against bones, since it's common knowledge that chickens have bones. So they dismissed Michael's suit. Girl, when I tell you, I had to step back for a moment and really like, wait, I thought cooking styles like was like baked, fried, broiled, boiled, seared, deep fried, sauteed. I thought that's because you have to do those things to the food, right? But they're saying that boneless is a cooking style. So boneless don't have nothing to do with the chicken. And since when does breast meat have bones? Mine don't, that I'm aware of. I think it's just like fatty tissue. I'm guessing that chicken breasts don't have no bone. Listen, I'm with the 3 who wanted to keep the suit going because I don't understand. When I go to like Buffalo Wild Wings, are they okay? Like, I don't know, have they had any issues? You know, all these places are just shady. When I go there, I get me some boneless wings and I'm expecting breast meat, like sauced up with the Parmesan garlic, the random celery, carrots, and like blue cheese dressing, and I'm not expecting to crunch into a bone, let alone a long, thin bone. I don't know, how did Michael not know? How long was this bone? But I guess it doesn't have to be huge to tear up your esophagus. Like, our insides, sensitive stuff in there. So, girl, but Michael lost his suit because they were like, boneless is it says right here, boneless wings refers to a cooking style. And basically, Michael, since you already know that chickens have bones, that's it. But also, does it say it in the menu? But, okay. I guess it doesn't have to say in the menu because they're like, it's common knowledge. I want to find out everything that's common knowledge so that I know when and if I plan to engage in these sorts of legal proceedings, what am I supposed to commonly know? Because of course I know that chickens have bones, but I don't expect boneless chicken wings. What is the point? Why are you calling them boneless? So so like just regular old nuggets, huh? I don't know that I have consumed a bone in my boneless wings. I don't know. So now, is it gonna say it on the menu? Like, you know how they have the little asterisk and they're like consuming raw meat and blah blah blah, or like whatever. Is it gonna be like boneless wings may contain bones? What? Listen, y'all playing with me. You're playing with me. And with my long time understanding of a food, I'm so surprised that this thing got, I would imagine, well, no, I don't know. I don't know. Just so you know, though, apparently boneless wings is a cooking style. I almost want to go to a restaurant and be like, can I have a burger cooked boneless wings? I'm gonna get thrown out. They're like, ma'am, we don't. You want boneless wings? No, I want a burger cooked boneless wings. Shout out to Michael. I guess Michael had to just go about his business. He took it to the highest court. He can't do nothing else. That's it, Michael. That's called, we don't want to give you any money. That's called, I'm eating at home from now on. Because also, could you imagine going to a restaurant and being like, I want to get the boneless wings, but do they have bones in them? they okie doked Michael. They okie doked him because that makes no flaming sense. That don't make no. What is the trash people coming today? Is that Friday? No. That it to me. That makes no good sense. It don't make bad sense. It's just nonsense. That's what it is. It's full on nonsense. How is boneless wings? Is it just an Ohio thing? Because you know some states, there are quite a few states that have some very interesting laws. I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm in the universal shade, which is just clear. I've got a list. Maybe I'll share this with you. I've got a list of like the strangest laws in different states. Child. Some of them I'm like, why was this created? Because usually the laws are put into place for some reason. Somebody did something. I remember seeing on I guess this is just rules of operation, on an iron where it's like, what did it say? It's like, do not iron clothes while they're on, something like that. So somebody decided to take this hot iron and just like, and here, there's the warning. But I don't want to use the blurring balm. I think I will use my NARS Soft Matte Foundation in the shade New Caledonia. Now, when this foundation came out a couple years ago, for like 2 years, this was my favorite foundation. And it's still one that it's one of my faves. It continues to be at the top of the list. I feel bad for Michael. I feel upset for, what's her face? Claire. But I'm just like, girl, you know, men are trash. But for Michael, I'm like, dang, that does suck, Michael. That really does suck. You went in, like, unbeknownst to you and everybody else that we know. Because I feel like I know Michael right now because I'm on the same wavelength in terms of being unaware that, boneless wings is just a cooking style. They lying. That's a bold-faced lie. What is this brush? That is a bold-faced falsehood. That's what that is. Let me find this brush. So I'm using the My Kitco and Danessa Myricks brush. This is the M1, which is the Yummy Base Large Angle brush. So there was another story in Missouri, as I like to call it. And I love to read stories about Missouri because it just further, like, I don't know, like memories, right? Grad school memories being in Missouri. Anyway, so I know this lady's name is Michelle. I don't think we know her husband's name. But here we are again, another reason that you need to have communication with your partner, healthy communication. And sometimes you just gotta let it go, okay? You just gotta let it go. So I know her husband is 50 years old. Let's call him Richard. Because I feel like he's one of those Richards that goes by Dick. I feel like this, yeah, I feel like this fits for him. So Dick loves Mountain Dew. That's not a soda that I always enjoyed. I don't know. It's like if I can't get like a Coca-Cola, I may get a Pepsi, but I swear they taste different. Like I used to like Sprite a lot. I might even get me like a Fanta. Wanna Fanta, don't you wanna? But I don't know that Mountain Dew is one that I would like go to. And I know some people love it, but it's just not, you know, one of my faves. Not at the top of my list. But Dick loves it. Okay, so he often has his little workstation in the garage, and there's a refrigerator out there. And he puts, you know, like little snacks and stuff so he don't have to go all the way back in the house. To me, it sounds like a well, I don't know. I was going to say it's a detached garage, but maybe it's not. That's how ours is at home. Anyway. So it's a 2-liter bottle. Because at first when I was reading it, I was like, this don't make no sense. They're canned sodas. But no, he buys a 2-liter, and I guess he just has a cup and he pours it in. You know, I feel like that's better for the environment. Now, one day he drinks his Mountain Dew and he's like, this tastes weird. And so he starts experiencing vomiting, diarrhea. Things are coming out of both ends, okay? Have you had that experience? Because that's an experience, is all I can say. So he's like, this is super weird. But he's like, whatevs. I don't know if he feels like he got a bad batch. So what he also noticed was that when he has his Mountain Dew, like outside the house, I guess like at work or when he goes out with his friends, he gets a Mountain Dew. It tastes fine. It is fine. So he's like, that's so weird. Dick. So this happens again. This seems to happen several times until finally I think Dick is like, okay, something ain't right. Let me go ahead and check the cameras, the surveillance cameras in our house, around our house, whatever. Dick sees his wife, Michelle, going in the garage. She takes the Mountain Dew and she also picks up the Roundup weed killer. And she mixes the two and puts the Mountain Dew with the weed killer back in the fridge for Dick to drink. Now, he sees her do this several times because Michelle is probably like, well, he ain't noticed, so I'm going to keep doing it. So much so that she has to end up buying a new bottle of weed killer. She uses it all. Dick just seems a little unawares. Just, you know, he don't know what to do with himself. He just, because what I'm telling you is that Dick kept drinking the Mountain Dew, even though it tasted weird, even though he kept drinking it. So he takes the surveillance to the sheriff's office, and he's like, yo, like, my wife is like, I'm gonna go in with the YSL, the YSL All Hours concealer. I have D1 and DN1 and DN5. So the sheriff's office is like, hey, Michelle, we need you to come in, babes, and we need to talk to you about something that we found out. And they confront her with it, and she's like, no, you guys don't understand. I saw on Pinterest that you could make like a new kind of weed killer by mixing it with Mountain Dew. She's like, that's what I was doing. I don't know what y'all talking about, poisoning this man. That's what I was doing, y'all. Now, Michelle is 47. Dick is 50. And then all of a sudden, Michelle's like, I should have just divorced him, huh? And they're like, Michelle, like, what's the motive here, Mishi? What's the motive? And you would think, like, Dick has a $500,000, like $500,000 life insurance. That's often the like impetus for people to be like, I'm gonna take him out. But FYI, if you do that, you don't get the money. Like, if they catch you and stuff, you don't get the money. You can't kill somebody for their life insurance. Like, it's not gonna work. So they're like, well, are you having an affair that you didn't want him to know about? Like, what's happening? Child, Michelle had the pettiest reason. Now, I don't condone what she did to this man, but I understand the level of petty. Michelle had recently thrown Dick a 50th birthday party. It sounded like she like pulled out everything, right? nothing was too much for Richard's 50th birthday party. And Michelle felt that he wasn't appreciative enough. I don't know what that means. I don't know if she expected him to get up and do a speech and be like, you know, this is all to my lovely wife, Michelle. I don't know how long they've been married, but listen, 50 is an important birthday, right? Those like ones with the zeros behind it. A lot of us, you know, they're like, look at you making it another decade. But whatever it was, and I could see how this would happen because Dick seems a little oblivious. He's up here still drinking this daggone Mountain Dew. And sir, it's literally poisoning. You up in the bathroom with stuff coming out both ends, but you still gonna keep drinking it? Okay. But I also feel like Michelle should have took that into account. She knew that Dick is a fool. He didn't deserve to be poisoned like that, though. And so, rather than, you know, having a healthy conversation with Richard, Michelle decides to poison the man. But she said, because Michelle is a fool too, she said that she just wants to be mean to him. Doesn't seem like she wants to kill him. Michelle, Roundup weed killer. It kills stuff. And that took some planning because you know this man loved himself some Mountain Dew, okay? That's like putting it in my sparkling water or my coffee. You know I'm about to drink this. So yeah, she wanted to be mean. She felt like he wasn't appreciative of enough. I bet you Dick had no idea. He's like, what you mean I wasn't appreciative enough? He's probably like, the party sucked. Now, the level of petty, I'm all here for it. I'm so here for it. Sometimes I encourage my client to be petty, you know? I get it. The level of petty, I understand. The attempted murder, that part I don't understand. Like, you went too far, Michelle. Girl, you couldn't talk to your girlfriends or somebody and be like, this fool, he ain't even say nothing. He ain't like nothing. You need to have some girlfriends or somebody who could be like, girl, talk to him. Or who can help you. Just be like, yeah, he ain't shit, girl. You know what I mean? Why you... And then you got to bring Pinterest in. And Pinterest didn't tell you nothing about mixing Mountain Dew and weed killer. So, like, what is it going to be? Mountain Dew scented weed killer? Or are you trying to extend the life of the weed killer? I don't understand. But you know what? I can appreciate her quick thinking on her feet. I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of it. I would have just been like, I was poisoning him. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they divorce him. Probably not. Richard's probably like, why you do that? I'm glad the man didn't suffer any more injuries than the bodily excretions. I'm glad. I feel like people are just... I feel like I don't have the time to poison somebody. I just don't. I don't, like, you get caught. Even that guy who was like a poison control person or something and poisoned his wife, even he got caught. So yeah, that's what happened with Michelle and Dick. I don't know if they can salvage their relationship. Maybe they could go to marriage counseling, couples counseling, and learn some communication skills. And just check on Dick. Like, check on him because he seemed... I don't know. Glutton for punishment? Michelle don't seem no better. Let me tell you this last story. Have you been to Death Valley? I haven't. No plans to. It's a national... forest landmark something. I know that it is the lowest, driest, and hottest out of all the national parks. Now, Bobby from Belgium, I don't know if that's his name. They didn't give his name, but I feel like Bobby from Belgium sounds like it would fit, right? Bobby from Belgium goes with his family to Death Valley. Now, what I read was that I think on that day, it was like 123 degrees, like in the air. So what I learned further is that the sand was then like 108, 109 degrees. Now, I've never been to Death Valley. I don't really plan on visiting, but what I do know is they tell you you need to stay in a certain distance of air-conditioned space. You need to be drinking water. You need to be having salty snacks to like keep that sodium and stuff in there. You need to do stuff. You need to be prepared. You know who wasn't prepared? Bobby from Belgium. Bobby from Belgium decides, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had a fight with people, but he decides, I'm going to go ahead and take a walk. He's going to just take a walk on the sand. Part of me is like, I'm going to give him a little grace because he's traveling internationally. Did he read up on all the things about Death Valley? Because I'm going to tell you, sometimes our friends who are male, they're not necessarily known for finding out specific information about things. Consult G on that. Oh, babe, I want to go to this restaurant. I really like it. Okay, babe, I'll go ahead and take you. Oh my God, they're closed. Like, you didn't check the time? No, they're closed. One thing. You had one job, sweets. One job, babes. One. Can't charm your way in, boo. They're not open. Anyway, so I imagine that G and Bobby are friends. So, I shouldn't say, he's not feeling well right now, so, you know, he's man flu. Bobby decides, I'm gonna just go ahead and take a little walk. I imagine that maybe his family was getting on his nerves. I think there are probably quite a few of us who are like, I'm just going to separate myself from this situation because I don't want to be around you right now. I'm going to go. So I feel like that's what had happened with Bobby. And so I think that maybe he wasn't thinking straight. I also don't think his family likes him. And I'm going to tell you why. Bobby wore flip-flops. Bobby wore flip-flops to Death Valley. Even if you don't know what Death Valley is, I bet you, by golly wow, that you would know Death Valley just sound like I should maybe wear like some good shoes. I should not wear these 99-cent store flip-flops, little slippers. Now, don't get it twisted. Those slippers are amazing, okay? You just need something you leave them by the door so you can go throw out the trash, you know, shoot. I understand. I will walk out my house and go throw out the trash. I'll go to the store with my little slippers on. Don't tell me nothing. It's really not good for you, though. Like, not enough support for your feet. But what else? You know, just FYI. But I will tell you something else. What I do know is that you shouldn't be wearing no flip-flops to any national park. Put some shoes on. Put some shoes that cover your toes and your heels. Put those on. Have some that have some good support. Do not wear these bad boys to Death Valley. So, the story says that he lost his flip-flops. I don't know what that means. I kind of think they burnt right off his foot. He lost his flip-flops, and Death Valley proceeded to burn the hell out of his feet. Like, bad, like melted skin. That's what they said. Like, it would burn raw. Now, obviously, I don't know how quickly that happened. This is why I'm like, your family don't like you because nobody told you to take them flip-flops off. Somehow, I mean, it probably happened quick. 109, 108 degrees is nobody's business. Like, that's down hot. But how it get to... Anyway, so a couple of other visitors of the valley helped what's his face, Bobby. They carried him. They had to carry him. So they carry him to the, like there was an ambulance waiting or whatever. But he needed to be like airlifted. But because of the heat, the helicopter couldn't like fly or land. I didn't know you could, like I didn't know that. They couldn't fly or land. So the ambulance had to get, what's his face, Bobby, to a higher elevation. No, hold on. I gave you wrong numbers. Okay, it was like 123 in the air. So it was like 170 or something on the ground. So like the floor, the sand could be 170 to 200. That's how hot the floor can get. What's that game where you have to jump like the floor is lava or whatever? That's what it's like. But instead, like, Bobby's not playing the game right. So they had to get him to an elevation where the heat was 109. So the heat had, like, it was just lower. And so that's when the helicopter could take him to wherever he needed to go to get. I don't know what they're going to do to him. Like skin graft, like you, the soles of your feet. Cause I'm like, tell me if you would or would not do this. If I see my family member coming out the hotel with some slippers on, talking about let's go to Death Valley, babes, you don't want to like, you gotta wear something else. You don't have no other shoes. Like, I don't know that you should be going with us wearing them slippers. I mean, going from Belgium to American healthcare. That should have been the first thing you worried about. Feel like, you know, it'd probably be better if you get on a plane and just head on back, because we ain't gonna do right by you. Can't wait for the bill. Wait till you see that one, buds. Poor old Bobby from Belgium. I hope he's okay. No rest for the wicked. Had to answer a work call. It's also the indication that I need to go ahead and get to my office. So here is the finished look. I like it. It's cute. So that is using the Rich palette from Beauty Bay and pairing it with Flying Fiddles from Adept Cosmetics. Anyway, I hope that some of this was helpful. I also hope that you're continuing to take care of yourself. I would love it if you liked the video, and I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know what you think about these stories. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.